Is this a drill or something?
Saw Gerrera.
He fashions himself as our leader, though no one elected him.
Saw Gerrera is the first character to make the transition from an animated Star Wars series to a live-action Star Wars film. Now, I believe that we will definitely see him in Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. Here's why. Actually, surprisingly, it was already revealed on StarWars.com. We've already seen mention of him in Star Wars Rebels in the episode The Honorable Ones, where Agent Kallus recalls his devastating encounter with a Lasat mercenary who worked directly for Saw Gerrera, which he mentions by name.
We were on a routine patrol and ran into one of your rebel friends, a Lasat mercenary who worked for Saw Gerrera. I was lucky, knocked out by the first blast. I came to, but found I couldn't move.
Now, if this wasn't proof that the Rebels team was gearing up for his introduction into Rogue One, his name also crops up in Claudia Gray's Bloodline, which is incredible. The persistent rumor originally was that we would see Cad Bane in Rogue One.
I don't know who you think you are, but I, for one, have no intention of listening to this kind of insolence.
Due to Vader supposedly utilizing the bounty hunters to corner his rebel quarry. Now, I definitely think Saw Gerrera will appear in Rebels Season 3 because Dave Filoni hinted last year in an interview that fans might see the Onderon rebels from the Clone Wars appear in Rebels itself.
Well, I know a Jedi. I think we need their help. This begins an idea where Anakin says we can train these insurgent groups, we can train up the local freedom fighters to fight for the Republic, to get what we want out of this, and we'll back them. Ultimately, this is now a group of rebels. If it's successful, they will do this on Onderon. They'll do this on a bunch of planets throughout the galaxy.
Having your baby, The Clone Wars, spawn a character with the help of George Lucas where it was meant to be in a live-action show, and it goes onto the big screen, and you have a show running right now that bridges the gap between the fledgling Rebellion and Rogue One. There is no way in hell I can see Disney passing up that opportunity. I mean, it's monumental. Now, Pablo Hidalgo especially has pointed out that the crest on his armor is that of the Rebellion that we saw in the Clone Wars. I guess there's blink if you miss it. And in a recent string of tweets, George Lucas came up with Saw for the cancelled live-action Star Wars show. So it is official, and he was meant to be an extremist, then reveals his backstory in the Clone Wars. Back in 2014, Dave Filoni said to Nerdist.com, "It is connected, though, to the ideas we set up in the Clone Wars that came from George, which was that Anakin instigated Saw Gerrera and the Onderon rebels to become a pocket group of rebels. We could possibly theorize that there are groups like that out there, but how much do they get along with each other, and what other are their goals?" Now, Ransom Casterfo touched on the campaigns of Saw Gerrera partisans when discussing the rebel attacks against the Empire in the Galactic War. And also in Ultimate Star Wars, Saw's description states he later became a key figure in the rebellion against the Empire. Now, we know that Saw Gerrera was actually a little too extreme for Mon Mothma and Bail, so they were like, keeping him at arm's distance, but that Death Star, that ultimate weapon to kill billions, has brought them together, and they were like, okay, he might be an outlier, but they've brought him in. So I think that the rebels, they might actually get a taste of his extremism, which will be even better than him just being a part of the campaign. If he's just a nut job and they're like, whoa, we can't reel this guy in yet, I mean, that will be absolutely brilliant.
Watch and learn.
Now, Anakin Skywalker basically taught Saw how to be a rebel and fight like a rebel during the Clone Wars. Now, wouldn't it be sweet irony if he was to say be the one responsible for Vader's alleged injuries in Rogue One? If he put him in the back to tank and was like, I'm crazy, you need me, Rogue One people, you need this. You need this type of crazy to defeat the Death Star. And, he's got that shell-shocked, what will you do if they break you? What will you become? I mean, dude's a little bit, twisted.
If you continue to fight, what will you become?
A rumor from 2014 on Making Star Wars stated that Sam Witwer and Andrew Kashino would both be returning to Rebels for major roles. Now, whilst Witwer's involvement has long since been confirmed as he replies two different roles, Emperor Palpatine and Darth Maul, and then this is confirmed on Star Wars News Net, Kashino's involvement has not yet been substantiated by any other outlet. Kashino's role, of course, is that of Saw Gerrera in the Clone Wars, a character we know that will be appearing in the movie. Now, given that Rogue One scribe or writer Gary Whitta is writing an episode actively for Rebels Season 3. It is set to tie in with Rogue One in a major way. It's not hard to put two and two together. Gerrera could very well be the key that links the two properties together. But the beauty of this video is it is just the start of the discussion. Our love for Star Wars surrounds and it binds us together. So let me know in the comments below, do you think we will see Saw Gerrera pop up in Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels? Shout out to Kylo Ren fan for the script help and sending me the idea, and Star Wars News Net and everybody else that have really just been churning out this great information, because if you love Star Wars, I want to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that. If you want to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars videos on origins, games, and theories, don't forget to use those force powers of yours and hit subscribe. And hey, leave a comment below about what you want to see in future videos. It may just get covered. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you. Always.